You know, lately we've been cleverly using, let's just call it, an awful lot of multiplicative stuff, whether it has to do with acuity or condition overload. So I thought today we would do something a little bit more basic, something simpler, but still use the new things that we got with 1999. Because I want to see whether they're any good if you slap them on a random weapon where the mods or arcanes do not have a multiplicative effect. This is where the Kuva Karak comes in. This weapon is as simple as it gets. It's essentially the AK-47 of the Warframe universe. This is a fully automatic primary rifle that doesn't have the best damage distribution. Yes, it does mostly slash, but there is still a ton of puncture and impact, and it sports a 23% crit chance with a 2.1 times crit multiplier and a 31% status chance. Now, since this is a Kuva weapon, the only way to get it is by vanquishing a lich that's wielding it, and for the build that we're going to be using in this video, a code-based Kuva Karak is going to be the best. So let us give it a shot, shall we? Let's get this party started. I love this weapon. It's so simple, yet so nice. We're gonna use primary cracks for the status chance and ammo efficiency, which is actually gonna be really nice. And I kinda wanna do like a weak point focused build, so we're definitely running acuity as well. So we get crit chance and damage from acuity, status chance and ammo efficiency from Krux. And then we want to run... do we want to run Serration? I don't want to do damage over time, so we're gonna go corrosive and heat. Unfortunately, if I had a code-based Karak, I would do that instead. Code is definitely superior to this though, because you could run primed cryo rounds and you would get more crit damage. Let's not forget about Vital Sense for the crit damage. Yeah, I think we just do Galvanize Aptitude for base damage, and we don't run Serration or anything like that, because we already get a ton of weak point damage from Acuity, so we can just get a little bit of direct damage from Aptitude instead, yeah. I think that's the play. Let us see if this actually does something. Okay, this is actually doing damage. Look at that. A very strange build indeed, but it appears to be working. This is actually pretty saucy once everything's ramped up. I like it. And we're still missing a bunch of mods. This just fits thematically, but I would also like to have a little bit more crit chance. And then we need to figure out the last mod. It's not gonna be Chamber. It's not gonna be Serration. What are we gonna put in? We could do Hunter Munitions. It doesn't make an awful lot of sense with Corrosive, but if you do Vital, then you can run Hunter Munitions and it should be pretty good. But as I said already, I do not want to do a damage over time build. That's a bit of a no-brainer right there. I love the way this feels. Like, I like the Karak to begin with. It's one of my favorite weapons. I just love it. But I think this build fits it really well. My concern is that builds that require you to be accurate tend to play really well into Simulacrum, but it doesn't always translate well into normal missions. Especially if you're playing with a squad. Normally, I wouldn't go for this, but we have the ammo efficiency, so yeah. Let's run Unranked Vigilante Supplies, which doesn't matter because we just want the set bonus, and then just run Prime Shred. Hell yeah. I like what I'm seeing and feeling. This actually feels good with Fire Rate as well. Yes, that's so much more DPS. Love it. Absolutely love it. The best bet for this has got to be Bigus Nichos with the Hellstrom, because we have 3 more Vigilante mods, so we get a 4-piece set bonus and Vital Priming. We also get extra fire rate from Bond. Reinforced Bond. Bloody hell, that is a Grakata level of Daka, and it works because we have that efficiency. This would be unsustainable otherwise. You just gotta believe. If you believe that you are not consuming ammo when you're shooting, it shall be so. Them's the rules, boys. What a terrific little setup. Let's see how it translates into an actual mission though. So far, so good. The damage is quite tremendous. I like it. Though it does have, you know, the common issues of a weak point focused setup like Granier and their giant shoulder pads are annoying. And some enemies either don't have weak points or they're obstructed. However, because of the way this is built and we're not relying on crazy multiplication, you actually maintain a lot of damage even if you're not hitting a weak point, which is very nice. I don't want to downplay too much though, because you do lose a decent chunk of your damage when not headshotting. Not just because Acuity doesn't work, but also because you don't get multi-shot by the nature of using Acuity in the first place. I don't think this is going to be everyone's cup of tea, but I actually like it, so it's definitely an option if you don't mind a build like this. This should be pretty good, theoretically. Hello. Okay. Well, fancy pants McGee, alright then. Oh, get absolutely fed bullets. My yes, dude. That is a solid A. It's not an S. but it's a solid A. I know this is gonna sound dumb, but I actually prefer the fire rate without reinforced bond. I think it's a little bit too much. It's taking away some of the charm of the gun. It's just blurting out bullets at ridiculous speeds. It is ripping them to bits though. Very solid damage for sure. Yeah, look at that. Would most definitely be better with cold though, because primed cryo rounds would add a ton of extra damage, and if you didn't like the build, you could actually use the inherent cold damage to turn it into vital. So here is sort of an alternative build for the Kuva Karak, because I'm pretty sure it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but if you like these kinds of builds, you should definitely try it out. We have Prime Threat for punch through and fire rate, Galvanized Scope for crit chance, Vital Sense for crit damage, Primary Acuity for weak point damage and crit chance, Galvanized Aptitude for status chance and condition overload, Thermite rounds for heat and status, and Malignant Force with high voltage for corrosive and status. However, you would ideally actually have corrosive and cold on this build, so if you have a cold based Karak, you run primed cryo rounds instead of thermite rounds, and that's gonna give you a lot more damage, it's gonna slow the enemies down, and it's gonna give you more crit damage on them. Now to top it off, we're running unranked Vigilante supplies in the Exiles just for the set bonus, and you know, the ammo mutation isn't the worst thing in the world, and for Arcane we have primary Krux, which provides us with status chance and ammo efficiency. If you wanna spice the build up a little bit, I would highly recommend you run 2 Emerald Archon charts, or you run this on Hydroid so that you can strip away the enemy armor with corrosion alone. I would also highly recommend a companion that can run a gun so that you can get a 4-piece Vigilante set bonus. This might not be the best build in the world, hell, it might not even be the best Karak build in the world. I'm pretty sure that running Hunter Munitions and Vital with everything else staying pretty much the same is going to be better, but that's the beauty of this build and these new mods and arcanes. We have options. Do you have any idea how long it's been since I sat on the mod screen without, making a meme build and actually thought about what I'm doing? Like, okay, so I don't actually need this. I could substitute that with this and then I could run that instead, and then we could combine that with this and we get a build. Weapons, for the longest time, essentially had 3 good builds. Crit, status, or both. That has changed quite dramatically. And it's fantastic. Yes, some builds are better than others, sometimes much better, but that's just how it is. The important thing is, even the less optimal builds are still more than good enough. So yes, I would absolutely recommend you give this a shot. It's really fun. And as always guys, I thank you very much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. Then I would also like to extend a special thank you to all the channel members. Thank you very much guys, I really appreciate your support. It means a lot to me. Now, before we end the video, I want to ask you something. I want you to detail your most broken build in the comment section down below. I'm gonna test them over the weekend and then do a compilation on Monday showing some of the most busted or funny stuff that I found. Because I want to see what's out there. There are so many new mods and arcanes and interactions. There is no way I'm gonna figure it all out just by myself. So as I've said, please leave your most busted build in the comment section down below. And I'll see you on Monday. Bye bye.